Imagine a pride of lions attacking a lone zebra. The rest of the zebras stampede away, desperate to survive. But what if, instead of fleeing, they turned and faced the lions together? The lions might think twice about attacking. The collective strength of the zebras could deter further violence. This is the power of unity. We as humans often pride ourselves on our intelligence and compassion. Yet when faced with injustice, we often act like the fleeing zebras, leaving the vulnerable to fend for themselves. The plight of the Palestinians is a stark reminder of this tragic reality. For decades, they have endured displacement, violence, and oppression. The world has watched, often with sympathy, but rarely with the kind of collective action that could truly make a difference. The situation in Palestine is not just another conflict in a distant land. It is a global crisis of conscience, a test of our humanity. Will we continue to be silent bystanders, or will we finally find the courage to stand united and demand justice for Palestine? The answer to this question will define who we are as a global community. The recent escalation of violence in Palestine is nothing short of catastrophic. Since October 2023, the region has been engulfed in a wave of death and destruction. Over 41,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza, a number larger than the entire population of some countries. Imagine the entirety of Reykjavik, Iceland, wiped off the map. This is the scale of the tragedy unfolding in Gaza. Nearly 100,000 are injured, many with life-altering injuries. The number of missing, likely buried under the rubble, is in the tens of thousands. Hospitals are overwhelmed, running out of essential supplies like medicine and bandages. The injured often lie on the floor, their wounds untended. The lack of clean water and sanitation is creating a breeding ground for diseases. This is not just a war, it is a humanitarian catastrophe of immense proportions. The international community must step up its efforts to provide immediate aid and relief to the Palestinian people. Every day of inaction means more lives lost, more families torn apart. The current crisis is not an isolated event. It is the culmination of decades of dispossession and injustice. The conflict is rooted in the displacement of Palestinians from their homeland in 1948, an event they refer to as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Since then, they have lived as refugees, scattered across the Middle East and beyond, yearning to return to their ancestral lands. The 1967 Six-Day War further exacerbated the situation, leading to the Israeli occupation of the West Bank and Gaza. The expansion of Israeli settlements in these territories has continued unabated, further diminishing the possibility of a viable Palestinian state. The construction of the separation barrier, which cuts through Palestinian land, has only deepened the sense of isolation and despair. The international community has repeatedly condemned these actions as violations of international law, yet they continue. Despite the ongoing struggles, there is a glimmer of hope. The international community is increasingly recognizing the Palestinian right to self-determination. Over 147 countries now recognize Palestine as a sovereign state. This growing recognition is a testament to the legitimacy of the Palestinian cause. This recognition is not just symbolic, it has practical implications. It strengthens the Palestinian position in international forums and gives them a stronger voice in global affairs. It also puts pressure on Israel to end its occupation and engage in meaningful negotiations for a just and lasting peace. The time for empty words and hollow gestures is over. The world cannot stand idly by while the Palestinian people suffer. We need concrete action, and we need it now. Governments around the world must pressure Israel to end its illegal occupation and abide by international law. They must hold Israel accountable for its actions and ensure that those responsible for war crimes are brought to justice. But government action alone is not enough. We, the people of the world, must also raise our voices in solidarity with Palestine. We must educate ourselves and others about the realities of the conflict. We must support organizations working to provide humanitarian assistance and advocate for Palestinian rights. We must use our collective power to demand justice and peace for Palestine. The Palestinian people have endured enough. It is time for the world to stand with them, not as silent spectators, but as active agents of change. Let us work together to build a future where Palestinians and Israelis can live side by side in peace, security, and dignity. This is not just a dream, it is a moral imperative.